we are covering farming, right? And we all know how important this is for growing your business. And there's a lot of tools out there for farming, and there's a lot of, different advice that you can get on how to really find a farm, work your farm, and basically grow your business from that type of platform. So today, Patty and I wanted to bring in a pro from the software that we use to help you farm, and that is Title Pro 24/7. So before we jump into the presentation with Jen today, just want to hear from all of you. Like I said, this is a mastermind group. Who is farming and what are you using? And have you had any success? So if you want to give us feedback, if you want to unmute yourself, if you just want to put it in the chat, we'd love to hear from you. This is how we learn about what's going on in the business. This is how we grow, and this is how we help you to learn and to grow. Patty, what different type of techniques have you used in the past to help agents farm?
Well, I've helped them really target the area they really want to farm and find out what the turnover rate is in that area, so they're just not spending money and kind of taking a risk if somebody, like you're kind of fishing. That's the way I call it, and see whoever catches it. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that you're spending your money and you're finding out what the turnover rate is in that area, so you know that you're going to get a better return on what you're sending out. So I always teach them how to do that. There's a formula to do it, and then also Title Pro 24/7 has access to that too, where they can actually calculate it yourself, and Jen will go through all that as well. But that is like the most important thing, is just really finding out what area you want to start with, and then budget, and then also making sure that you at least do it for 18 months. You have to be consistent, because just a one-time farming is just not going to work for anybody. But I will tell you, not a lot of people are farming right now, and right now the market is so hot that everyone is curious to see what their house is worth, or what the next door house, what it's sold for. So there is a lot of curiosity going on right now, and that's where you have an opportunity to really reach out to these sellers, and they might be really interested in selling their home because they're seeing how fast how fast they're selling, and then also how much money they're getting right now for their homes, because it is a seller's market right now.
Yeah, and not only can we help you to create a farm list, but we can also help you with the postcards and whatnot to go to your farm. I know Patty and Michael have some of the most creative ideas on how to get eyes on your print material, because I know a lot of us, we get stuff in the mail, and we get a lot from real estate agents. But how do you make your stuff stand out? You call Patty and Michael. That's how you do it.
Yes, we can help you with that as well. Branding yourself is so important, and making sure that you're staying consistent, and we can come up with some great content and some great ideas on how to help you with any of those type of marketings that you need for your business.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Patty. I was just going to add, I also can help in that department as well. And I know Patty, Michael, and we do some awesome brainstorming together. So definitely can help from a content perspective, and even design too.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Tiana.
With this team right here. So with that being said, I know we got a couple of comments wanting to get into farming. So hey, let's get in to helping you get your farm set up. Jen, if you're ready, I think we're ready to kind of jump into a little bit of your presentation.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Patty. I appreciate the invite. So we're going to go over farming today. Just want to make sure everyone sees my screen. And basically, you, first of all, need a login. So hopefully everyone has a Title Pro 24/7 login. And if not, definitely reach out to Landmark and get one. They can provide one for you. So the URL is just www.titlepro247.com. Go ahead and get logged in here. Now, this system can do a lot of things. You can grab your property profiles, documents, but today we're going to concentrate on farming, aka building a list. So when you're in Title Pro 247 and logged in, go ahead and click on this button here with the star labeled lists, and it's going to take you to the farming section. It's going to say build your list, and we're going to go over how to build a farm list. I know there are some new people here from the comments, people who haven't done much farming yet, and probably some pros as well. So we're going to do a high level and go straight into details as well. So the first button you're going to see over here is geography. And if you're not aware of building a farm list, most people start off with some kind of geography. So this is nationwide, but let's go ahead and go into Scottsdale. So we have a smart logic here where it's going to recognize what you're searching, again, because it is nationwide, and I'm going to hit add. And when you add over here to the right, it's going to do an auto count now, and it's going to show you the complete count of your city, your zip code, your county that you're searching, okay? Now, if you want to be more specific, especially once you start farming and you know your neighborhood or your area, you can take a look at this drop down here, and you can use any of these as well. So you can enter in something like a subdivision, a tract, even a Thomas guide if you're more old school. So a lot of different options to get your search started. Or you can use this simple search bar and put in a city, county, or zip.
Hey, Jen, I don't mean to interrupt.
Sure. Go ahead.
Can you fix your mic? You sound like really far away.
Alrighty, let me move this closer. How's that sound?
Let's try it.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Alrighty, so the next section here is the map button. Okay, so the map is if you want to start by drawing a geography, or if you know your neighborhood, it's going to bring you to a map. It's going to default to where whatever address you put in when you first start your login for Title Pro. So I'm going to use this interactive search bar here. Again, it does auto-populate with Scottsdale. I'm going to hit search. I'm going to zoom in here. Now you can also enter in an address as well. So I'm going to use this address just to show you guys. So if you were pulling a property profile for a specific property and you want to farm around that area, you can do so as well. So I'm going to use this property here. And you can see it just jumps straight into that neighborhood. And then you can see all the different parcel outlines, and you can move the map around, take a look. And then you can use this pencil or circle to draw a polygon or radius. Okay, and it's super simple. Let me show you. I'm going to click on the pencil here. So let me zoom out a little. Let's say I'm interested in farming in this neighborhood right here that I'm well aware of. Click on the pencil, and then all you have to do is every left click is going to be a turn or corner. So left clicking. And when you're ready to close it, you can just left click on the beginning point, and boom, you have your polygon. It's going to highlight it, and it's going to show you how many properties there are. So I have 1,960 properties in this square I just drew. And it's going to show you your square mileage. And what does that mean, drawing a polygon radius? That means from here on out, any filters or anything else I add will only apply to this box here. Okay. So, for example, let's say I add this polygon. I'm going to hit add, and you can see now my polygon for Phoenix, Arizona is added 1960. I can remove that Scottsdale one. And now my total count is going to be within this 1960. Okay. And then from here on out, I can move on to the other filters and continue drilling down until I have my perfect farm list and perfect potential clients I can go after. Okay. Now that was an example of a polygon. I'm going to just click on delete, and I'm going to show you a radius this time. So click on the circle here, and then your mouse turns into a little crosshair. Let's say I want to start at this intersection here. Left click to begin my radius, and left click to close. And again, a pop-up's going to come up. It's going to show you how big the radius was. It's about 1 mile. And it's going to show me how many properties is in my radius, 8,225. And again, I can just hit add to add that, or delete. Okay, so let's move on here. I'm gonna jump over the instant list, come back to that at the end, and then move on to the property. Okay, property is anything and everything to do with the property type you're searching. So it has everything from bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, year built. So if you're going after clients that purchased their property within the last 10 years, I can go to sale reporting date, and then I can punch in the year. So what is it? 10/13 today. So I'm going to go 10/13/2010. And then you can put a maximum as well. If not, it'll just take it to the most current. And I'm going to hit add, and boom, just like that, it's going to add that sale reporting date, 10/13/2010. And then now you can see it takes the original number, it reduces anything else that doesn't match the sale reporting date, and that gives me the total count. Simple as that. So basically, you start with a geography, you start with a big area, and then you start drilling down with all the different filters you want to apply. Okay. Now, with the newest update to Title Pro, we made it super simple. Previously, you had to put in, your dashes, your greater than, less than signs, but now we already pre-made that box for you. So if I go to, let's say, bathroom, and then we have a min-max, and let's say I'm only looking for properties with at least 2 bathrooms. That's what my client wants to see. And then right there, bathrooms, minimum 2, and then it gives me a new total. Okay. So again, take a look at all the different filters here. You have some of the more popular ones: absentee owned, building, bathrooms, square footage, odd even if you're doing walking farms, owner occupied. That's important if you're going after people who are actually living there. So if I do owner occupied, yes or no, hit add. Now owner occupied, yes is that. Okay. Now if you choose the absentee owned one, this one gets a little more in depth than owner occupied, because then you can go after people who are out of state now or not living in Arizona. Okay. Different things we have, of course, sale date, property type is super important. Click on property type, and then you get a few options. You can do commercial, you can go after residential. Let's say I want to go after residential. I can just hit add from here, or I can take a look at the different types of residentials that come up. Okay. Remember, there are also multifamily here. Let's go ahead and hit add to residential. And you can see in my search criteria, this is how I'm building my apartments. Started with that radius I drew, we added bathrooms, we added residential properties, owner occupied yes, and then last 10 years. I'm going to pause there. Any questions up until now regarding the property type or property section, drawing the map, or adding geography?
There is a question.
Okay.
Is there a filter to remove listed properties?
That's a good question. So jumping a little ahead, if we go to other, actually it's a premium feature, okay? But in the premium section, there is a new filter called MLS active listings. So under premium, and if you go to other, I'll show you in a second, there is an MLS active listing filter that was added. And basically you can filter or remove for properties that are currently actively listed. Great question.
Ooh.
All right. So let me move on to the next button here, mortgage. So this is anything and everything to do with the mortgage or lease. So we have 3 sections here, and this is where really the pros kind of, you can weed out the pro partners from the beginners, because this is where they start using mortgage filters, foreclosure filters to really cater down to your type of clients you want to go after. So under the mortgage, there are 3 buttons here, all liens. So we're going to have things like equity, current LTV, or anything to do with the ARM over here. Under the first lien is going to, again, have anything and everything to do with the first mortgage. So you can filter for interest rates, lender names, loan amounts, loan types. So for example, if I want to go after properties with a particular interest rate, I just choose that. And again, min, max. If you're not sure, just click on the little green question mark, and it'll show you some tips. Okay. So let's say I want to go after properties. Again, I'm not an expert here in Phoenix, but let's say I want to do go after properties with at least 4.5%. I can hit add, and then boom, you can see that adds it here, and then it's gonna filter against everything else we've added so far, and then give me an account. Okay. That was an example of the interest rate, lender name. And again, if you don't like the results, it's super easy. Just go ahead and exit out of here and then just do it again. Let's say I want to do 3.5 instead. And then add, and then you get a new account. Super easy. Okay. So that was an example of interest rate, but you can do lender names, lender types. So if I want to go after properties that got their mortgage from bank, from credit union, you can even be more specific. If I go to lender name, I can do current lender or sign, starts with, contains, and just pop it in. So let's say I want to go after houses that, you know, did a mortgage with Chase Bank. I'm going to do starts with, and then do Chase, and then hit search. And then now it's going to pull anything that has or starts with Chase. Let me choose Chase Bank and Chase Home Finance, and go ahead and add that. Okay. Up, we have 0 with these two starting. So I'm going to remove that and just keep it. Just remember, if you get a count that you don't like, it kills your count, or if you've gone too far, just go ahead and exit and try again. Demographics. So this is pretty key. This is where you can filter for, you know, certain age groups, gender, income, marital status, occupations, presence chosen. So this is great if you're going after, you know, empty nesters or move-up buyers, things like that. You know, especially if you know your area. I've known some agents, some brokers that really use this data and gotten a lot of good sales. So for example, one I can think of last year, there was, I think, like some kind of headquarters, like a Toyota headquarters that was relocating to Texas. So what she did was she found that headquarters, I think somewhere in the Bay Area, here down in SoCal, and she drew a radius around there. And then she went to occupation. She went after these engineers, different types of occupations, and then she put in a specific price range for the houses. And then she reached out to those and got some good sales of some engineers that needed to relocate for their job purposes. So definitely use the demographics to your knowledge. Hopefully you guys know your neighborhood well, and you know, a lot of good stuff. So if I click on occupations, you're going to get a lot of different lists here. Income, you can go after certain income groups. Same for ethnicity. If you work with certain ethnic groups, it's all there. Okay. I'm going to move on to distress. So if you want to filter for homes with foreclosures or pre-foreclosure, you can definitely do so. So if I click on foreclosure, you get a yes, no. If I want to be more specific, I can go to foreclosure type, and there is all pre-foreclosure. You can see then the default comes up. You can put a specific reporting date, sales schedule, or just all. So really great if, especially in these times, as you know, if we can kind of pinpoint or prepare for what's coming, you can definitely go after houses that are in pre-foreclosure or has a sales schedule. Okay. And then lastly, in the other section, we have a few key items that don't belong to any of these categories, especially owner phone type. So we actually just changed phone vendors, so we can cater for cell phone numbers only now as well. So we have cell phone data. Okay. We have landlines. If you don't choose cell phone or landline, it's going to look for both. And if a particular property has both cell and landline, it's going to default to cell phone first. Okay. But we also have do not call, do not mail. Of course, the phones are scrubbed every month, so keep that in mind. Okay. We have owner type. Let's see here. Surname. Some people ask, what's the difference between surname and ethnicity under demographics? Surname is actually based on the name on the deed. So we look at the current deed and we look at the name. We look at the last name, and then we just use basic knowledge and categorize that specific last name into a particular surname under this list here. Okay. While the demographics ethnicity is based off of census data. Okay. So let's say you're ready to pull your list. Actually, let me circle back here and show you instant list here.
Hey, Jen, we got a question in. I don't know if they're jumping ahead, but it is a question about
email addresses?
Yeah, great question. So currently today, Title Pro does not have email addresses. I get that question a lot, but we are looking at email data vendors to hopefully add that soon. It is a tricky situation. While we've looked at different vendors and we've tested it out, even gone to a QA session, but we found out a lot of those emails are really either invalid, bogus emails, or emails that were created in the late 90s or something like that. So we just don't want to add that kind of data to our database and kind of water it down and in the end provide you guys with that data. So we are looking constantly looking at different vendors, and hopefully we're going to add that soon. Great question. Okay. So going back here to the instant list. So what is an instant list? And this might be great news for some of our newcomers, new farmers here. Instant list is pre-built out farm lists that we've created based off of what we see as the most popular type of farm lists we see our clients using. And then we pre-build that out so that A, you're not wasting your time, and B, you know where to start, and C, you know what type of farm lists to try out. So we're constantly updating this list. You can see we have a few new ones here. Okay, but some of the more popular ones is, let's say, we have empty nesters, aka downsizing prospects. We have move-up buyers. We have cash buyers, commercial sales. So whatever you're looking for, take a look in the instant list here. Okay, and actually, let me save this list. And let me go ahead and clear all and show you an example of an instant list. So I'm going to go ahead and clear everything. And I just did that by clicking clear all here, if you didn't see. And go back to geography. Let's go ahead and add Scottsdale again. And I add Scottsdale, it's going to give me an auto count. And I'm going to jump to instant list. And it's easy as this. Let's say I'm going to go after empty nesters, people who want to move into a smaller house, the birds have left the nest. Boom, I click on downsizing prospects. It adds all my filters and I get my list. It's super simple. Okay. So what adds for empty nesters? So we add a particular property type. Of course, we have condos, single family, residential. We put a square footage, at least 2,000. Demographic, we say at least 55 years or older. And this, we put a specific sale recording date, 7 years, owner occupied, yes, of course, and at least 30% equity. So again, just remember, this is not set in stone. You can go to those specific filters and adjust it yourself, especially, all geographies kind of work different. Let's say for Scottsdale, I know it might be closer to 65 instead of 55. Whatever the case is, these are just based off of, averages that we see. And then we pre-built that list and add it here in your instance. So super simple, and then you can just hit count or add additional filters on top of this, and then get your farm. So again, if you want to take a look at what others are using out there in the market, or if you're just not familiar with farming, go ahead and click on instant list and see what's available. So I'm going to go back here. Remember that list I pre-built with the radius? I actually hit save here. And what save does is it saves that list for you so that you can go back and pull that up. So I'm going to go back here, go click on saved list. And here's right at the top, my saved list I did. And then boom, it redraws my radius. It puts all the different filters back in. So this is great if you're going to be pulling a list and updating it on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, whatever the case is, or you drew a complex polygon or radius and you want to get back to it, just save it and it's going to be there. Okay. So let's say you're ready to move on. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Okay. I had the exact count I wanted. I'm going to hit next, and you're going to be brought to the pre-checkout page. So over here, you have a few different options you can do before pulling your list. You can do a partial selection. Let's say I only need a list of 200. I can say I want 1 to 200. And hit add. And then now instead of 1,000 somewhat, I only get 200. Okay. Under additional output, you can see these boxes are what's going to be on your Excel or PDF output. I like to go to saved outputs, and I like to choose core fact options. There are different already saved outputs. So if I do core fact, it's going to add additional options here, or you can just go down here and check different options you want on your Excel sheet. But when you're ready, just go ahead and get now. I'm going to choose CSV, Excel, PDF. I'm going to hit download. And what our system is going to do now is it's going to process that farm list, okay? And it's going to automatically take you to the history section. So the history section in TidyPro is new. It saves all of your farm and profiles and documents and everything you've been doing in the system. It saves it in this history tab. So you can go ahead and pull that order and re-download it anytime. Okay, so here's that list I just told with that radius. I'm going to hit view order. I'm going to check this and hit download. And then right here, it's going to start downloading, and it's going to pull up that Excel sheet. And then boom, I have my Excel in that radius with the interest rate and bathrooms and everything I've added right here. Now, of course, it would have taken me close to an eternity to, populate this myself, but the system does it all for me. You just have to plug in the filters and you're good to go. Okay. Another new feature is when you download a farm list now in TidyPro, it actually emails you a link to that list. So if you're on the go, if you need to move on to your next farm list or profile or whatnot, jump into a meeting and you don't want to wait for it to download or go to the history, you can come back to the history later or check your email and that link will be there. Okay, I'm going to pause there. That was a quick high-level run-through of farming or how to begin farming. Any questions from everyone out there?
I have a ton of questions, but I don't
Sure,
want to take up too much time if you still have more to present.
I'm pretty much done. The only thing we didn't go over is the premium section. So let me quickly go over that. Premium, it's basically the same as your farm lists, but it was really built for certain areas where just based on county restrictions, certain title companies can't give out certain data for free. I know Arizona isn't too much into that, but it's more, certain areas like California and I believe Washington. But when you go to the premium section, you're actually pulling the farm list with your own credit card and out of your own wallet to bypass that restriction. So just keep that in mind. But I believe Landmark is giving you guys a certain amount of credits per month. You can definitely reach out to your Landmark rep and make sure of that. But premium is really to bypass those restrictions. So I'm not going to go too much into there, but that's what the premium tab is.
Really quick, Jen, did you go over the turnover rate for the agents to know that that this system does it for you?
Yeah, that was a great point. I'm sorry, I didn't catch who that was, but let's go into that turnover rate section. So where that is it's going to be under the geography, okay? And in this dropdown that's alphabetical, it's going to be called neighborhood search, okay? Now, in a upcoming update, we're actually going to add a new button here that says neighborhood search. But right now it's under geography, it's neighborhood search. And what is neighborhood search? I'm going to tell you, it's a magical tool that shows you which areas or which neighborhoods have the highest turnover rate. Okay, and this is where you want to go after. This is where the most activity is going on, and this is where you want to be farming. So the age-old question you guys have, or you guys might get, is where should I be farming? Okay, so go to neighborhood search. It's going to take you to this map. Again, and then you can enter in a city, zip code, or even county. So I'm going to do, let's go to Scottsdale again. And then over here, go ahead and use these items here. So you can either do it by subdivision or tract. I'm going to stick with subdivision. And then we have 4 different options here. Available properties, turnover rate, average price, and average years owned. Okay. These are all optionary, but the more you put in, the more catered your list will be. So for example, let's say I want at least, 15, or let's say at least 20 properties in my neighborhoods. So I'm going to weed out any neighborhoods with small amounts of property. I'm going to hit OK to add that. Okay, and we're not done yet. I'm going to go to now turnover ratio and say I want to see neighborhoods with at least 15% turnover rate. And this is the one I always recommend you at least put the turnover ratio. So I'm going to do 15% and then hit OK. And then let's say I want to go to years owned, and I'm going to say at least 2. So I read out any new construction, so it's not skewing my data. I hit OK. And then boom, it's going to give me a list with properties, or actually a list with neighborhoods that has at least 15% turnover rate, has at least average year zone 2, and then has at least 20 properties in there. And then you get all of these neighborhoods. The system just calculated that for me. It's just magical. So you can go ahead and click on convert to PDF and print this out and take it with you. Or it's actually interactive. Let's give it a second to load. But it's actually interactive. Let's say I'm looking at this list and say, oh wow, this subdivision has a lot of activity going on. I can go ahead and check that and hit add, and boom, it's going to add that subdivision, and then I can go ahead and pull a farm list for that neighborhood and go after those guys, market towards that. So basically what we did was we started with a certain area, city or zip code. We put in a certain turnover rate, I don't want to go under, certain amount of properties in year zone, and it gives me a list here of different neighborhoods, and it gives me all the averages, number of sales, properties available. A cool one is non-owner ratio. So if you see something like, whoa, 60 properties there is non-owner ratio, that means a lot of investors there. Total sales, average price, and then now I can just check those neighborhoods and add it to my farm list and pull the farm list based on the highest turnover ratio. So that was the neighborhood search function. Again, it's under geography. It's kind of hiding in this list here, but we're going to add a big button for neighborhoods as search. And again, that's the tool that's going to help you find out which neighborhoods have the highest turnover. Some people actually use that and do something kind of clever. I've seen some people do areas that has no turnover or hasn't had any activity within the last year, and they want to market towards them and see if they're ready to buy or if the bubble's about to burst. So it just depends on how you want to use that data to your advantage. I think someone said they had some questions before neighborhood search.
That was me.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to fire them at you because I had a bunch as you were going through. So first thing, do you guys have like marketing flyers or any sort of like marketing materials that we could give to agents about this? And that maybe has like best practices or like how-tos, or do you guys have like an online support center or help hub where they can just go to access like frequently asked questions or anything like that?
Yes, that's a great question. So we have a few flyers built out, and if you don't know, we actually just migrated to a new system. So we're actually building out new flyers too. So I'll send that over to you guys. I'll actually send it to Patty and Sarah, and then maybe they can distribute to you guys. We actually also built a resource center, which I'll send over to Patty and Sarah as well. So I think I have it here. So we have a resource center here, and this link actually gives you the ability to, sorry, it's a little laggy, might have a bad connection, but it gives you the ability to register for live webinars, just like what we're doing here today, for someone to walk you through the system. You can also, if of course, if the webinars don't match your schedule, I know you guys are on the move, click on watch training videos, and we pre-built out these training videos for you guys to watch from the comfort of your home. So you can view how to do property reports, the history tab, generate lists, pull property, how to use the radiuses, all of these different short videos we built out for you guys to watch and get better at the system. And then lastly, to answer your last question, do we have a customer support line? Yes, we do. So if you go ahead and click on contact us down here, there should be a 877 number, and these guys are open until 5 p.m. Pacific. And these guys are all local. They're in the same office, or were in the same office before we went work from home. And they know the system. They know how to farm. They know the system from like the back of their hand. So you guys can call this number if you're stuck, if you need help pulling a certain farm list, whatnot. You can go ahead and reach out to us at 877.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then as far as like consulting or giving recommendations, do you guys provide any guidance like that? I know Patty, Michael, and Sarah may have some good insight on that since you do this a lot, but also just want to know, do you guys provide any recommendations or suggestions if an agent came to you kind of wondering like, where should I start?
Yeah, of course. If you reach out to anyone at Black Knight, including myself, whatever questions you have, if you need help farming, we're here to help, of course. We'll push you in the right direction, but we always assume that this particular agent, broker, or rep knows their area somewhat. Because I'm locally here in Los Angeles. I'm not going to know Phoenix or Scottsdale as well as you guys. So with your knowledge of your area, my knowledge of farming, we can help you build some kind of list and get you started, get you rolling to hopefully find the potential prospects you guys are looking for.
Okay, perfect. No, that's awesome. Cool. And then do you guys have any like case studies or I guess like statistics that show the results of people using Title Pro 247? Like, do you have any almost like I guess evidence to build a case on why people should use this?
No case studies, not to my knowledge. I wish we did, but I think if I'm probably not supposed to show you, but I can show you that the trends of all the usage from not only title companies in Arizona, but California nationwide, a lot of heavy usage, especially after the month of June, May, June, July. It's just trending upwards. And from what I'm seeing, especially with everything going on with the pandemic, a lot of people are starting to farm and get ready for what they think is going to come. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not an expert. That's you guys out there with your title reps. But just from the usage I can see, especially people, we can see how high the usage is for people using the foreclosure, the distressed, and the mortgage sections. They are trying to, scope out these people who might need to do, who are in foreclosure stage and things like that. So this system moves with the trends. So the people who are actively farming and trying to get ahead of the curve are probably most likely the ones closing the sale. So that's kind of my 2 cents of what I can see on the usage side.
Okay.
But anything, we don't publish any case studies, but if you're looking for any trends like that, you can always ask us, and we'll try to point you in the right direction on what a lot of people are using or what we're seeing on our side, on the data side of it.
Okay, cool. No, that's really helpful. Thanks.
Hey, Jen, I have a question for you on the phone numbers that you get to give us. Now, is that just with a certain type of farm that the phone numbers are being pulled, or is it like, for example, if I did a turnover rate at 15% higher in subdivision, can I pull phone numbers in that direction, or does it have to go through the mortgage leads?
No. Phone numbers, you can do it with anything and everything. So I can basically say state of Arizona, and I can check on phone numbers, and I can get a list of all the phone numbers that we have available. We don't particularly, how do I say this? We don't recommend you do a very, very specific farm list that gets you a count of 20 and then add phone numbers, because sometimes that will kill your count and get you a very low number. Just remember, these phone numbers is A, if they're available, and B, if they haven't been scrubbed. So if you want a whole huge list of phone numbers, I always recommend, start broad. Start broad, maybe a specific zip code or a certain area, and then add phone numbers and see your count. And then if it's too much, then start adding filters from here on out and then see what you get. but yeah, they're not linked or tied down to just mortgage filters, and then you can add phone numbers. You can do it with any type of list. That was a great
That's some great information. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a few more.
There's,
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it looks like actually we have one in the chat too. I'll just go
Nice.
ahead and read
Okay.
that one off. Do you have, or are you going to include templates that will automatically mesh with the farm list?
Templates that will automatically mesh with the farm. I'm trying to think what that means.
Debbie, are you able to elaborate on that a little bit for him?
Thinking maybe it's mailers.
Marketing or something like that.
Yeah, like the mailing flyers that
Postcards, flyers, yeah.
cards.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
postcards, flyers, yeah.
Okay.
That is definitely something we can implement in the future. Actually, when I was checking out in the Corfact template, Corfact, if you guys don't know, is actually a different company. It's like a mailer company, and with recommendation, they wanted a template that would work directly with Corfact with all the different appropriate fields filled out. So that's why we've eventually added the Corfact template, so it works perfectly with that. But as you guys can know, there are a lot of different marketing companies with a lot of different templates and a lot of different stuff they supply on their flyers. So we can't have a particular one that matches everything. But we had enough people ask, I use Corfact and I need this specific type of template. But with that being said, if you have a specific marketing company you use a flyer type of template, we built the option, or we built the ability for you to build your own custom template. So when you get to the pre-checkout page, you can add a specific template and save a specific default. So if you know a specific template that you guys are using with your specific marketing type or flyer type, save that default, name it, ABC marketing type, and then anytime you get to this checkout page, you can pull a farm list that is customized specifically for your flyer. So I don't know if that helps.
Jen, thank you so much. Is it Debbie that asked the question? Let me go back to the chat.
Yeah,
Debbie, just so you know, Michael and I are here to help you with content on brainstorming on any type of template to create for you on what you're trying to market. If you're trying to market sellers, or even, maybe asking the sellers that you have a buyer that wants to move in that neighborhood, we can come up with something great for you to do. We can create a postcard for you.
That's
and then
great.
Yeah, and if you want to give us the, once you go in there, if you want to give us that list, then we'll create the labels for you, and then we can make sure to get those for you on the postcard.
Okay. Yeah, creating the labels probably isn't the hard part. It's just the messaging. And if you guys are great
Yes,
at
that's what
messaging,
we're
that's
here
great.
for. So that's something that we can do. We just have to sit down and have an appointment, and we can go over that with you.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks,
Any other
Patty.
questions?
Yeah, I'm not a marketing expert by no means. Definitely reach out to Patty and Sarah. I'm just a data guy behind the numbers, so definitely they are the expert in that realm. So thanks for that, Patty.
No problem.
Any other questions?
So one more question for you. Thank you so much for all this amazing information. It's really great. So just to be clear, so this will just create a very targeted specific list based on the filters that agents are coming in here and putting in, right? Like the end result is a list.
Yeah, the list is completely based off of what you put in. So if you put in, a rural town in Wisconsin or something, you're not going to get farms, you're not going to get houses here in Phoenix. So just remember, always look at, and I'm going to pull up a list here again, just so I can show you. If you're wondering, hey, how come I only got 4 properties? Always look at what you've entered in here. If you do a radius, let's say here around Indian School Road, or somewhere, let's say I drew something in and I don't want to get, to in that area, but let's say I drew something in a not so well area, okay? And then I decided to go put a purchase price of $2 million or up, and then I get 0 properties. you got to take a look at this criteria and see what might be off. So something might clash with something else. So always take a look at these counts, all your filters you've done so far, and then say, oh, whoa, of course, I drew a radius here and I forgot to take that out. I really actually wanted to draw it in a different area, or whatever the case is. Or let's say I drew something in a Hispanic area, and I decided to put an ethnicity of Japanese, and then I get 0. You know, those are the type of things that you want to take a look at, double check, and see what doesn't work with something. Because all these farm numbers and filters you're putting in, they're all, you know, binary zeros and ones in the back end. But you guys are the experts, and you guys know what you want to be farming for. So take a look at this criteria before you pull it.
Thanks, Jen. And you know,
Yeah.
we are here too to help you with that. Sarah, Michael, and I, you know, we've been doing this for a long time, so we definitely can help with just doing the search for you and helping you with what area that you really want to focus on. So just know that we're here to help you on any questions that you have on the system. Landmark Title does offer this as well as a tool for you to use. And I know there's a certain amount of credits that you are able to get. And then if you don't use them all up, they roll over for the next month. So just give us a call or email us and we can set you up for a free account for a certain amount of, I don't know how many, Sarah, do you know how many monthly, or Jen, do you know how much we get with Landmark?
No, we can double check that on the admin, but I do want
Okay.
to point out, you know, like Patty was saying, Landmark is sponsoring you guys with credits. I know a lot of title companies who don't give any credits at all. So, you know, that's really great of you guys. And if I were you guys, I would take advantage of that and definitely reach out to me and get
Yeah, and I know this software, that was a lot of information, and I know especially for the newer agents that it looks very overwhelming, but I promise you, it's actually a very user-friendly software to use. You know, I learned this just when I came over into title, and I you know, I dinked around like the first couple of times I was creating a list, and then it just became like clockwork. It was actually really easy to find exactly what I was looking for, and like Patty said, we'll help you with it. You know, Patty and I are familiar with this software. We actually have a customer service department that specializes in this as well, like pulling listing books, you know, for potential listings and whatnot. So don't get overwhelmed if this looked like it was a lot of information. There are lots of baby steps to creating your farm. So don't think, oh, this is a lot of information. I can't do this on my own. You are not on your own. We are here to help you. So please reach out to Patty, to Michael, to myself. We'll help you to build exactly what it is that you're looking for so that you can get started farming today.
Yes. And we will sit down with you and we'll pick your farm. We'll also go over creating a budget for you to see how much you could also or want to spend that month as well for 18 months. So there's more to just farming. There's also sitting down and just really finding out what direction you want to go. And then we can help you with the postcards, flyers, go every door direct. There's so much more to it. So just know that that's why it's important. If you meet with us, we can really have a game plan on helping you go that direction.
Yeah, guys, so a lot of the questions that I wrote down were more like basics. I don't have the background really in farming. And so my questions are more like, you know, how do you determine which audience to go after? How much farming should agents be doing? You know, which type of filters will like get the most success, stuff like that. And that's definitely stuff that Patty and Michael and Sarah have experience in. So if you have those similar sort of questions, definitely reach out to them.
Thank you, Tiana. This was just such a great tool that we just had to make sure that everybody knows about it, and just it's so valuable. So it's just important for you guys to know that we do offer something like this and that you guys can use it right now. And Jen, you know, I don't know how long it would take, but just so you guys know, this program also pulls property profiles. So let's just say you have a listing appointment and maybe it's on a Saturday and you couldn't get to Michael and I or Sarah to order a listing kit. Guess what? You can do that right there at your house and print it out really quick and have a nice presentation to your listing appointment as well. So this also does that too. So just so you know, this tool is great. So it not only does a listing presentation, but it also, you know, is a target farming for you as well. Sarah, do you want to add anything to that? Yes. Does anybody else have any questions for us?
I think we got it pretty well covered. Tiana, do you want to tell us about what we're going to be going over on the next mastermind?
Yes. Okay, guys. So I'm really excited. When I started at Nova about 4 months ago, I learned about HomeBot, and it's just another amazing marketing tool that realtors can use to build their business in so many different ways. And so I kind of have become a little bit of an expert in that department. And so I've been doing presentations with different realtor teams across the valley on HomeBot. And honestly, you guys, it's a no-brainer. It's very low cost when you partner with a lender at Nova, and you get so many more benefits from doing that. And so yeah, next class, I believe, I don't know the exact date, but it's next month. And I'm going to be spending the hour talking with you guys over HomeBot, and I'm basically just going to do a whole demonstration showing how you can use it to generate new leads and to also work your database to get some sellers. So it's amazing. And I honestly, like every realtor I meet with, when we talk about HomeBot, they're like, oh my gosh, how have I not been using this whole time? So the ROI is very, very high. So I definitely encourage you all to join us next month for that.
Yes, I think it's November 10th is what I have.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, we did record this today, so if you would like a copy of the recording, let us know. Please reach out. Once again, all of our amazing sponsors on today put their contact information in the chat window, but you know how to get a hold of us. This is also a repeat RSVP list. So if you RSVP'd for this one, you'll get a reminder the day before for our next one, because you know a month is a long time. But between now and a month from now, we'd love to work with you. So please reach out to us.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you guys
Of
so
course.
much
Thank
for
you,
coming
everyone.
on.
Appreciate it.
All right, everybody, have a great day.
Thank you.